Yo, what's up, world? This is Sway. And the reason why I'm talking to you, man, coming from the radio station, this episode of The Breaks is really heavy on radio. I wanted to put together a panel discussion with some of the legends. Some of the people were there when hip-hop first came on to the radio. My mentor, my inspiration, DJ Red Alert. Also the man responsible for bringing us Biggie Smalls, Mr. C. And one of the most popular DJs in the world today, especially here in New York City, the one and only DJ Enuff. And we're gonna cover all the bases, man, just like on The Breaks. How hard was it to even get rap on the radio back in the day? How hard was it for an artist to get played on the air? And even rivalries between artists and DJs. Some people fought for their lives just to be in this. Trust me, you about to hear some gems being dropped right now. Part of my claim to fame is the radio game. So pay close attention as we go behind the breaks. We got the creators, the architects of hip-hop radio in the 90s with us, the legendary DJ Red Alert. We got the legendary Mr. C, and we got the living legend himself, DJ Enuff. Heavy hitters. You know, on VH1, we got this series, The Breaks. So we wanted to sit down and talk about what radio was like in the 90s. How were we as on-air personalities and DJs even getting jobs back then? You know, I've done radio since 1990. Red Alert came to my house, King Tech in my house. And Red, you convinced me. You told me right then and there you can't quit. You gotta keep going. You here on the West Coast, you representing us, and I stayed in. So that's why I'm here, because of Red Alert. But
we all here because of him.
Talk about that.
We all here because of him.
I didn't pay nobody. Red gave me my shot. I remember being in the club and he said, "You want to open up for me or hold me down at the station while I go to Jack the Rapper?" And I was like, get out of here, Red, you're crazy. Radio in the 90s was the best because we got to play what we wanted. I don't remember any rules. We had a chance, a shot to give people their voice. And to me, that was the most amazing feeling in the world.
Other than Red putting a stamp on you, how hard would it have been to get on the station?
Without Red, it's not happening. Red is the godfather. There's only a few, I could count them as Magic, him, Red, maybe Chuck. These guys were the stamps. Initially, when Red first started, when they were on the radio, I don't think they thought it was cool. Like, people were like, that's not cool. But they made it cool.
You know, first it's always going to be recognized as a mix show on radio. We have brought the elements of the culture of hip hop into it. And then we was able to come and do our little street talk.
In different day parts, you couldn't play the rap version of a R&B song. Like if it was a Friends song with Jody Watley or something,
right,
you couldn't play the Rakim version. You
right,
remember
right.
that? What year did you see hip hop actually become more prominent in everyday part?
Between late 80s going into the 90s. It was starting to hit more mainstream. But when you start having R&B artists and R&B groups start taking hip hop artists to put on their songs, they say, oh, that means something. So, you know, when you had Heavy D with Levert, that was big to us.
Mr. C, what came first, the artist or you DJing on radio?
Well, the first thing for me that came first was, you know, DJing for Big Daddy Kane. My association with Kane and Super Rock and Mr. Magic, who I got the shirt on today, definitely a radio legend in New York along with Red Alert. Mr. Magic was on a radio station, WBLS. You and Chuck Chilla was on Kiss FM. They used to battle against each other. Me being a part with Kane and our squad with Mr. Magic was called the Juice Crew. Red was with Boogie Down Productions and when KRS-One and so on and so forth. I would be at BLS with Mr. Magic and him and Marley Marl would be on the air, but they secretly listen to Red Alert and Chuck Chill out to see what they're doing.
Oh, we just gave up
So
game.
that was my early experiences of seeing the competitive nature.
When I was coming into the program director, that was Barry Mayo at the time, I said, yo, man, Magic is dissing me. Then he started laughing. I'm looking at him like, dog, you dissing me.
Yeah.
You know, I still got the street mentality. Then he said, sit me down. He's like, let me tell you something, man. You have a right to be mad. But one thing you gotta understand, while he's dissing you, he's advertising you.
Yeah.
So for anybody that never heard of you, they gonna turn it down and say, well, who they talking about? So I had to take time to swallow it. That's right. And not only that, but behind later on, me and him became friends.
Mr. Magic had took a hiatus from New York radio and returned to radio around 92. He started doing a public access radio station called WNYE in Brooklyn, New York, and he asked me to be a guest DJ. That guest DJ slot turned into being a permanent DJ slot. During that time, Hot 97 asked us to come on board, and we did a show on Hot 97 called the Classic Showcase. So when Red left, they asked me to do it as a temporary thing, but I had to call Red for his blessing.
Yes. Let me ask you, Enuff. Did you grow up wanting to be a DJ, or was it something you heard?
My dad came home and he owned a copy of Planet Rock. Planet Rock was the record. I know there was records before. I did enjoy Rapper's Delight. I did enjoy the King Tim III. I enjoyed a few other records, but it wasn't until I heard Bambaata's Planet Rock and the Soul Sonic Forces that it truly put me into another space, literally. I'm not being funny. Like, I would sit in front of my dad's stereo and I would just play this record over and over and over again to the bonus beats part. And then it would just die and I'd bring it back and I would just be there for hours and hours, just lost in the music.
Listening to cats like, the Supreme Team.
Yeah.
See Divine the Mastermind,
I still love them.
Just a lot of
I love
Superstar,
them.
Africa Islam, and the Zulu beats.
The Zulu beats never stop, of course, if you rock the
Right.
spot. The Son of Bambaataa, Non-Hada, the Africa Islam,
And that's
the
where I
Prince of
first
Charms. Woo!
And that's where I first started before I got on major radio. I started
HBI, right?
Yeah, HBI with Africa Islam. But before me, it was my cousin, the original DJ Jazzy J they put on
Jazzy
first.
J.
Right.
Then after 2 months, that's when they put me on.
When rap started becoming popular to all ears, we start having conflict with program directors that didn't know anything about rap music. In fact, they kind of put a wall up between it, and then it became, well, we know more than y'all. Did you ever have conflict with your program directors?
We all had probably conflicts, but I think
To this day.
one thing to this day, if you're on radio to this day, you're gonna have some type of issue with a PD or a music director. One of the key people in the '90s that you got to give credit to is Funkmaster Flex, as far as really being that person to, stand his ground on them Black Moon records and so on and so forth. I remember when Flex first got on Hot 97, he was the guinea pig. He was the first one to play hip hop on Hot 97. People used to call him and be like, cut that monkey music off. You black, ugly monkey, cut that monkey music. Like, Flex went through a
He
lot.
went through hell.
What year was that?
92, 93.
92, yeah.
When he first got on Hot.
I understand you want to get more rap on the radio. I was thinking we could do it together. You choose the music, I'll get it played.
No, thanks. I'm not doing what you did.
And what is it that I did?
Payola.
Rap was good on the ROI, return on investment. You didn't have to put a whole lot in to get a whole lot back.
100%.
And then the world of payola entered the game, and you see artists even in the breaks got to deal with, how do I get my music played? How did y'all navigate with, the labels and different artists want to hand you that brown paper bag?
Well, I'm proud to say to this day, you couldn't buy me.
Yeah.
I say, I don't play favors, I don't play politics, I play what I believe in.
Yeah.
I don't care how much you put in my face. Some of them quietly later on in life say, man, we appreciate you being honest and truthful. Others, they still want to go about I couldn't do it. No, I can't sell myself.
One thing radio has always done is kept us informed. Somebody passed away, you typically heard it on the radio. In the breaks, DV friend passes away. He's dealing with it. What are your thoughts about our responsibility as on-air personalities, and how have you dealt with tragedy?
For me personally, like when Big passed in '97, of course I took it hard, being, my personal relationship with him, but then the 1 year anniversary of his passing, I decided to do a tribute on the air.
Now tonight we're gonna do a little tribute to my main man, my brother, the one and only David Aaron. We miss you.
That tribute led to me doing other tributes.
Son of a bitch.
Unfortunately, with other passings along the way, that I didn't really see other DJs taking that lead, so I said, what, I'm gonna be the one to do it.
Enuff, man. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule, man.
Nah, man, cut it out.
And sitting down with having this conversation.
Me. I really appreciate it.
Come on, man. I got nothing but the ultimate respect for you, Mr. C. Thank you. I love you for coming through. Absolutely, and sharing these gems with us. Red Alert, thank you for the inspiration.
Respect, man.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you.
We love you, Red.
Hey,
Yeah.
love all y'all, man.
Yeah. Keep watching the breaks. Until next time, keep it hip hop.
The excitement of hearing just a little radio drop saying a world premiere.
Not this Planet Rock record. This Planet Rock record was crazy. It was electronic. I was like, what?